The show, everybody. We're drinking bourbon. When am I not drinking bourbon? Anytime before noon. Try not to touch it. Other than that, game on.
I'm finding myself looking for a reason to have one. I mean, now that I'm not working all summer, it's a hard thing to not just grab a drink now at
It's
11 a.m.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere. It's a very palatable drink. It's tasty, but
it is.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to. So the first time I had bourbon, we went to. Oh no, I went to Kyle's house, Kia. And he's like, you know what? All we're doing is, he had a kid. We didn't have kids yet, and that's tough. When someone's got like a fucking 3-month-old and they can't go out and they're used to going out, but for like 9 months they were throttling it back, as you do.
Yeah.
So he's like, instead of like going out or whatever, why don't you guys just come and we'll make like actual craft mixers. We'll do a spicy margarita. We'll do this or whatever. And Kyle's really good at mixing. Dare I say he's a mixologist, Daryl? Dare I say?
Kyle sounds gay.
Yeah, but he's really good at figures. He can measure
Where
stuff.
was that? He was at
with the F in honor of Juneteenth. We're staying away from the ends. Just like in traffic, I try to stay away from the ends. If you know what I mean. But first time I had old fashioned, he made it perfectly, I assume, but it tastes like shit. And I went right back to it. I think at that time I was either Miller Lite or Bud Light drinker. And proceeded to have 40 of those and fucking down the hatch, Then a few years later, we go to the Bourbon Trail. Is that your wife talking to you or the dog?
No, the dog.
Okay, cool. Because usually it's interchangeable.
She just got home, so the dog's standing here looking at her like,
asshole is an interchangeable thing for you. Yeah,
100%. She's my best friend today, though.
Oh, cool, nice. I love when mommy and daddy stop fighting.
I know, it's adorable.
Then I go to the Bourbon Trail and we stop at Wild Turkey, I believe. It's cold as shit out. And they're doing like this race that Tanya just did recently where there's a multi-team relay race in between all of the bourbon places. So you go up there with like 10 people, you run a leg, you hop in the van, somebody else hops out, they run a leg, the whole thing. And they happen to have hot cider, which is fucking the jam anyways. Dude, hot apple cider. Hot apple cider fucking rules.
The regular apple cider is great. I can't drink it anymore. My insides do not tolerate it well at all. Like it literally goes through and it just, I need to be sitting on a toilet while I drink it. I don't have any time.
There was going to be dire consequences. What I'm saying is I took a sip of the free sample from Wild Turkey, which I wouldn't recommend as a entry-level bourbon drinker anyways, because it's like you immediately go, okay, bourbon obviously sucks. But Wild Turkey is what the guy that sells meth behind the bowling alley, that's what he orders as a shot. It sucks. There's some good ones, but yeah, I stay away from it. But I poured into the hot cider. Now we're talking. And that was kind of like the easy gateway. Then we go to like 3 more bourbon places. And by the third one, you kind of develop that palate. And you're like, oh, this one's a little bit more mapley. This one has a little bit more of this on the back end. And now you start to develop a taste for it. And that is when you're hooked. First couple days of you drinking it, you're like, hit or miss. And now you're like, ooh. Yeah. It's
so
great.
Like last night, we went for pedicures. And then we were going to go get something to eat, but we weren't starving.
Did you just eat a hot dog with your asshole after your fucking pedicure?
No, I ate the fucking fruit that was in the water by my feet.
I'm sure you did.
I don't eat fruit, you faggot. And then we were headed, she heads back down Sheridan, towards Niagara Falls Boulevard. And I'm like, don't fucking go to Chili's. Don't go to fucking Wild Wings. We're out. We have a date night on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go to those places.
This is where
right up
where
the
you
Maple
live is perfect.
Yes. And I started I'm like, I already knew it right in her house, right away. I'm like, are we going to the fucking Brick House Tavern?
Yeah.
And she goes, yep. I said, all right, perfect. Because at that moment, I determined that I wanted to have a bourbon.
Attaboy. You're
So
in.
and they have a fuck ton of it. So I'm looking up there and I'm like, I didn't know what to start with. I forgot what I don't know. I think I said I had 3 of them there.
Yeah, I think you started with Angels or Eagle
that was
Rare.
The second one. Eagle Rare. I had first. And I liked that one because they have it at Teas and Taps, and Charlie talked about it. So I had it there.
It's a good chip.
So I had that, and I had Angel's Envy. And I forgot what the last one I had was. Another one. And while we're sitting there, Chris is just shaking her head. She's drinking some sort of fucking margarita, whatever. And she's like, I just never thought you'd be a bourbon guy. I go, listen, I still drink beer. I'm not strictly bourbon. It's like I still like to drink wine. I still like a mixed drink occasionally. I love margaritas. Sure. And I says, it's just something different. I go, it's nice that it's gonna take this is I got 3 ounces in here. I measure my shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter 3 or 6. I'm gonna drink the whole fucking thing regardless.
Attaboy.
Let's be real here. But I'm like, I'm training myself. So like last night we're all like 2-ounce pours. Because the guy asked me, he's like, you want 2 or 2.5 ounce? I'm like, we really splitting hairs over 1/2 ounce of fucking bourbon here? Why is it 2 or 3 or 4? Half. So he went in the computer. He's like, oh, she gave you 2 ounces. Like, that's perfect. And it was good. And then we left there and we went to Irishman on Main Street. And that's when I was looking around and the bullet was fucking just turned perfectly, looked me right in the eye. And I was about 6 feet away from it. I'm like
hey,
like, I've had it already. It's all right. I'm like, I have a bullet. And that's when she filled the fucking glass up.
Yeah.
And that full ass glass of bourbon was still cheaper than whatever drink Krista got.
That's fantastic.
All night she was like, your fucking bourbons at Brick House Tavern were $3 cheaper than anything I got. I go, yeah. I know.
Yeah. And it's better for you.
It takes me about an hour roughly to drink this.
That'll pass.
It will. And I've noticed that. I mean, sometimes I'm getting it down to about 45 minutes, Yeah. But, and it's like, it's great that like beer, I've watched these podcasts back and all I'm doing is fucking slamming beers.
That's all I'm doing. Motion again?
All I'm doing
is
drinking beers.
Yeah.
And it's like with this, it's like a little nip. It's good. I drink some water.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying this train. And Krista got me 4 Roses because she was sitting on the fire the night before Father's Day. And we were talking about it. And she asked me, what are your favorites? And I said, so far, like I like Bullet. I like the Elijah Craig, Woodford. I go, the 4 Roses that I started off with, and I'm going to put that at the bottom. That was the first one I started with. I don't think I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, I think if you go back to 4 Roses small batch, you'll appreciate it.
This new bottle is small batch select.
Yeah, which
it's a little bitier, and I like it a little better.
Yeah,
it's actually good.
It's basically a double. It acts like a double oaked, but I don't believe the process is double oaked.
See, now you're speaking Spanish. I don't understand all that, but I do have proper rocks glasses now.
Ooh,
I got the proper square ice cubes.
See, my rocks glass is the Buffalo Memorial Auditorium.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Like I told her I just looked for some somewhat cool ones on Amazon that were cheap. And I'm like, just get me those. And then she went out and got me the whole Michigan shit and everything. And I'm like, it's cool.
What up?
So
I want to have.
It's interesting, man.
My dream gift to my wife or any girlfriends that may be listening,
or boy, shotgun to your head,
is to kill me immediately, please. No, I want Ernest Hemingway etched bourbon glasses. That's what I want. Or you could go F. Scott Fitzgerald if you wanted to.
Oh.
But Ernest Hemingway is probably, until Bert Kreischer came along, the greatest celebrity drinker of all time. Let's get the show started.
What was that? What did we just do?
Called a cold open, Daryl.
Oh, we're in the biz, man. Fucking buzzwords are cool.
Dolts, Chris and Daryl, yeah, they run shit. Current world events and forever on some dumb shit. Fun lit with a Bush Light, especially, even though they always getting banned, allegedly. Crack a bourbon, peep the sermon, it's just 2 dolts. And you know they hold it down like it's 2 ropes. So crack a bourbon, peep the sermon, it's just 2 dolts. Taking over in the game, bringing new hope.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's a thirsty Thursday. Unlike, maybe if I had a radio show, if we had a radio show, it'd be 2 for Tuesday. You want 2 for Tuesday, Led Zepp? You want 2 for Tuesday, Led Zepp? We should buy a radio station. Soft pitch.
Dude, I've talked to you about this like years ago. I'm like, because Buffalo has no good radio stations. None. 98.5 plays fucking straight garbage. 93.7 plays
used to be cool.
Straight shit. Used to be great. Yep. We used to have an older hip hop station gone.
Used to be able to from Ontario as well.
Yeah, Ontario had a real good one. Now they fucking went by the wayside. By same thing, they play the same music. 98.5 does. I don't listen to terrestrial radio very often. The only time I do is when I'm in Chris's Jeep. I want to drive off a bridge. Listen to this shit.
Don't let me stop you.
Talking or driving off the bridge?
Both.
Okay. But it is, and I mentioned that to you before. I'm like, how can I get a radio station? Like, you can get a pirate radio station or whatever. And it's like, yeah, 101 was fine back in the day, man. They played all the old hits. All of us 70s babies, 80s babies were banging to that stuff. It was great.
Yep.
You could throw it on a Friday night at a house party. Yeah, I mean, yes, 103 was
you're going back to what? Fucking 1995 with that? 103.3 the Fox. Now it's the Edge.
Fox, yeah.
Are you edgy now with Shred and Reagan? Cocksuckers.
Yeah. And it's like, man, just having a radio station, I was like, all right, cool. So we buy a radio station, got the transmitter, got all that shit. All right, now we need to transmit music. Well, how do you transmit music 24 hours a day? I don't want people talking. I'm like,
which is what I looked into for you, which is dangerously expensive.
Yeah.
No, we just fucking do it. We would be the DJs all day.
Okay. What about all night?
We do that too.
No, we don't.
Have you ever had cocaine?
No.
Allegedly,
and I never will.
Awesome.
I never will.
That 4 a.m. hour would be fucking lit.
But yeah, that would be fun to do, but fuck, man.
So we weren't friends around the time where.
Please take me back.
Yeah.
Time machine. Time machine.
Where's Doc Brown when you need him? We had a AM radio station show every Friday.
A Tim show, right?
Yes, for like, I think 5 weeks. And it was right around the time when the 40-Year-Old Virgin came out. And the guy who ran it, his dad started it. It was WHLD, Stations of the Nations, I think 1080 AM in Buffalo. It was right on the corner of Chippewa and Delaware, I believe. So like right there in the heat of everything. And we had a great producer. And the producer's goal was to, once we like met with them, and I had to pay like, I don't know, like $150 or $250, which was a lot of money back then, because I had no money whatsoever, to buy the spots. But I bought hours worth of time, and it was traditionally like a polka station. And then all of a sudden we come on.
Candy come around.
Then all of a sudden we come on talking like we talk like this, albeit I think you and I are a little bit more gooder. So we'd get hate calls. We'd have our friends call in. Hurley would do a spot because at the time he was
never heard of the guy.
Yeah, he sounds like Dash. But he was managing a video store at the time, so he would like give his movie beats. And we had like intros and everything. It was great. But the FCC fines if you swore, if you did anything. Like, here's a guy that's barely hanging on, selling ad space for fucking nothing, letting degenerates like us have radio shows for $250.
dump button, dump button, dump button.
Yeah. But this dude, our producer, his name was Jerry, had a way better radio voice than you or I do.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
But he was like, I am compiling clips, and my job, what I'd like to do is take these clips and sell them to get you guys on an FM station within the Citadel broadcasting thing. This is right before Janet Jackson's Tick comes out. So there's this radio station, this guy that owns a radio station in Lake Havasu. He owned 3 radio stations, and they were looking for a morning show that was a little edgy. And Jerry's sending our clips there. And the guy goes, they're young. They're not really. He's like, I'll handle it. Like, so he's negotiating for us to try to get us a contract to move to Lake Havasu. And then the Super Bowl happens. And at the time, I don't think we were friends again at this point yet. But were you ever at my house that we did the poker thing in on Hurdle, where we had stadium seating?
Yeah.
Okay. We built.
You guys built the stadium seating. It was like 3 or 4 rows deep there.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, you guys, there was a typical fucking flop house.
For sure it was. But we had stadium seating for the Super Bowl. That's what we built it for.
Yeah.
And we just kept it because we were too lazy to get rid of it. And it was applicable. It worked. When you have 9 couches, you might as well have stadium seating. Yeah. And Janet Jackson's Tick came out, and we were just close enough with Jerry to start doing this this pirate radio concept that he had, where he was going to bring a radio transmitter to our house, and we'd have a house party because we would do the Tim Show live and interview people on couches and shit like that. I don't know if you were at one of those parties where we did that, but that's what we used to do.
There was a lot of things that happened while I was at that house that I need scrubbed from the hard drive.
A lot of debauchery and
I remember screening all the old fucking VHS videos of you fucking idiots and the whole London peeing on in a shower video that I will never, ever forget.
We used to.
I just called that asshole last night. He never called me back.
We used to record everything.
Yes. You guys were literally gonna be the new Jackass, like Jackass 0.5. You were coming before Jackass 1.0.
We were trying to sell those tapes to a company out of Toronto for distribution.
Of course you were.
I'm always trying to sell something.
Yes, yeah. This was, you guys were thinking Girls Gone Wild. Idiots on the radio. Yeah.
So we were close, and then all of a sudden, after Janet Jackson's Tit popped out, it was like nothing. Havasu gone, which I
everything's
still
off the table, boys. What?
I still have a place in my heart for the Tim Show, but Tim's a shrewd negotiator, especially when he had nothing to stand on.
Yeah.
So he goes, I want a guaranteed contract. I'm like, dude, we're making no money right now. Let's go there and make 30 grand each a year. We have a radio show. We can do bar spots or whatever. We can do comedy nights. We can make our money almost like UFC fighters.
Yeah.
The contract is shit, but because your name's on my ass, I get $1,500. I get $4,000. I get $40,000, whatever it is. But that was a weird time, man, where had that boob not popped up, I'm sure we still would have been nothing positive. But it was getting really cool for a minute. And then all of a sudden, nothing.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah. A lot of people can't say that Justin Timberlake ruined their career, but
you and Tim can.
I can. I'm like, well, I failed at comedy, so why don't we just do this? My dream forever was to have a radio show. That's all it's ever been. Because of the movie Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater, which is another topic I want to get to down the road. Best movies where they talk to the camera.
Was that breaking the fourth wall?
Yes. Daryl, god damn, you're in the biz.
It sounds like my dog's outside, but he's definitely not.
Where my dog's at?
Unless he's outside on the front porch. I'm this whole DJ midlife crisis thing. This has been it's been a dream of mine since I was in my early 20s. I wanted to be a DJ at a strip club.
So it's cheaper if we buy a strip club.
Correct. Bar wasn't set very high, but the music it had always driven me and whatnot. And
here comes Candy.
Yeah,
gentlemen.
And I didn't have the voice for it, so I would have had to have somebody in there talking while I just played music.
Oh,
but it's like that was the whole thing that I wanted to do.
Because what you really want to do is just pour some sugar on me 7 or 8 times.
3 fucking Pete.
Now, I do think that women's strip clubs probably have a better mixture of music than guy strip clubs.
I can't tell you that because I have.
I'm only just pontificating on the matter here. I would imagine that male strippers have a better choice of music than women because women are fucking clueless. Allegedly.
Yeah, they get that one song. This is my jam. This is my song. Guys are like, how else can I take a normal everyday song and make it sexual?
Now, sure, genuine.
Yeah.
Sexual healing.
Yeah.
Sexual.
It's Raining Men.
Anything James Brown.
Too close. Yeah.
Yeah. So women are just like, oh, it's going to be a slow jam. Every rose. If I was a chick, I'd pick the longest song ever.
Why?
I'd pick Freebird.
Why?
If I was a girl stripper.
Okay, so that goes both ways.
Get you more stage time.
Well, that's great. But that hurts all the other girls in the room that you get $20 for a song. Well, you just picked a 7.5 minute song. Some dude just got a 7.5 minute lap dance for $20.
So now
you're turning it over every 2:45, 3 minutes.
Now your clam needs some mayonnaise.
Yeah. Spit on that thing.
Yeah. I'm not really, we're both not strip club people.
No.
We'll go to a strip club for the goof.
Which we did during COVID.
For sure.
It wasn't even for the goof. It was literally the fact that we were not done drinking, and it was the only place open after midnight.
Yeah, and COVID and cigars killed COVID. Everyone knows this now.
Yeah, we just smoked cigars and drank fucking beers in a corner.
Yeah, so you buy a bucket of 5 beers for $75 fucking dollars.
It wasn't that expensive.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
but you it's hard to fall in love with a stripper at that location.
Correct. It's
Although
easy to fall in love with strippers in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Those Russian and Swedish and Finnish chicks, my lord.
So back in the living on hurdle days, we used to go to Wild Wings a lot too because it was right down the street.
Oh, the Elmwood one there.
Yeah.
And then it closed.
By the movie theater. Rest in peace.
Yep.
There was a hostess there who she was tall, very beautiful face. She was like an elf that like grew too much. Like she had very elfin qualities,
So,
but a girl that's like
Buddy the elf.
Yeah,
Buddy the elf.
What a chick.
Grew too much.
Yeah,
except for female.
But she was always like super cute, and to the point where I never have a problem talking to anybody. But if someone is too cute, I don't even try.
Yeah.
And I would never talk to her. And one day we walk into the Colony and it's her first day stripping. And I just thought of all the times I wasted because I had no idea she had no self-esteem. I could have easily picked her up.
I could have broken your soul years ago, sweetheart.
I could have manipulated you for years. But yeah, no, I got to this girl that was hot in like those quasi back in the day when they wore those like fake NFL jerseys.
Yeah.
She was hot in that. Yeah. And then I get to see her naked. I was in love. The only other time ever we're at this like VIP booth thing in Raleigh, Cary-ish. And this girl I don't like when strippers talk shit. I don't like when any woman talks shit because usually it's like, okay, you're getting into a playing field where you're not going to win. Because I, as a man, have reason, I have logic, I have humor, and I have a sharp tongue. Women just be like, "Oh, you're stupid," whatever. It's like arguing with a 5-year-old. I didn't know I was going to be so misogynistic right now, but
I know.
here we are.
That's like 25 minutes.
But here we are. But this girl said some shit, and then I was kind of mean, and then she just did this. And I was like, all right, you win.
Fucking playing field leveled.
Yeah. She came out with the big guns. I was like, all right, you win. Cool. I love your topic.
What topic?
Cameos.
Dude, I don't know. I was high as fuck last night. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, Daryl had a gummy and allegedly talked to Matthew McConaughey. You took a gummy and watched Interstellar, which I would not.
I did not watch that movie.
Oh, have you ever seen it?
Yes.
Great movie.
I know. Me and Matt talked about it. We're Matt. It's Matt.
Oh, yeah. He's not Matthew to you. He's Matt.
No, we got home from date night and like it was a nice night. I'm like, let's have fire in the front porch and some drinks. I poured open this 4 Roses. Krista brought the fucking golf speaker out. She played some music. We sat out there having a fire. As we were in the bedroom, she went into the drawer. She grabbed one of her gummies and she ate half of it. And these are only 5 milligrams. These are light because we're
you're lightweights.
And she opened up the other one of mine and shoved the whole thing in my mouth. I'm like, all right, let's go. And next thing you know, we're out there. I'm like, is that fire extra? And she's like, extra what? I'm like, is it extra sharp? They're like, the flames look really pointy. Like you could.
It's adorable drug
like,
user.
like if you put your hand by it, not you're going to get burned, but it would hurt. It would poke you. And she's just looking at me and I'm like, I'm starting to trip. Like the fire's like in 4 fucking D, man. I can see shit in it. And then right there in the front porch is Matthew McConaughey wearing a fucking brown Texas Longhorns with the white fucking logo and a cowboy hat. And we got to talking about Interstellar. I don't think a word came out of my mouth. I think we spoke telepathically.
That's good. Yeah, that'll work.
No edibles tonight. And Chris is just looking at me. She goes, "Are you fucking with me right now?" And I'm like, "Stop. Our guest is talking. Let him speak." I've never hallucinated before. Fuck, dude. I was out there. We came in the house. Chris is like, "You talked for 20 minutes about how you and Matthew talked. You were talking about the fucking books and the sand and the water, like Interstellar. You guys were really getting into it." And I was like,
so even you had her convinced that he was there?
Fuck, yes. She's like, I'm
referring to the story of an invisible man being there.
She's listening to me. I was that convinced he was there, and I was that convincing telling her that he was there, that she was just like, how did I not see him? Like, he walked right up. I got a PT today, and people were talking about, oh, what'd you do last night? I'm like, oh, Matthew McConaughey stopped by my fire. And one lady, this little old black lady, turns around. She goes, "Where do you live at that Matthew McConaughey was over to your house?" I go, "Right down the street." I go, "You want to meet him? I got a little jar of candy. You eat. Just eat one of them. He'll show up."
Well, you texted me.
I don't. Oh boy, I went back and saw some of my texts that I sent people.
You're like, dude, I just talked to Matthew McConaughey. I'm like, now I knew you were out. And I thought, Buffalo sometimes will pull, like Bradley Cooper's been to Buffalo for a movie and they're filming something for Hallmark in East Aurora right now.
Gronk was just here at the ice cream stand the other day.
Sure. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, really? You're like, yeah, dude. And we talked about Interstellar for like 30 minutes. I'm like, all right, now I know it's bullshit because I'm sure Matthew McConaughey doesn't want to talk about Interstellar. Yeah, I was a rocket guy.
I was on that spaceship last night.
Dude. I had to go back and read. I'm like, all right.
You fucking with me?
So I go to the timeline. I'm like, okay, bourbon, got it. margaritas, got it. Another bar, bourbon, got it. And then I just took a gummy. I'm like, oh, he met Matthew McConaughey in the ghost world, which is fine. I'm sure he's a lovingly great guy in the spirit world. I think
you called me bourbon delirious last night. Plausible. then you're like, your drug use is becoming an issue. So fuck.
With a hypocrite meme.
Yeah. The hypocrisy meter just fucking pegged. And then you're like, dude, when you gummy it up on a podcast, you interrupt like fucking crazy. I'm sure Matthew McConaughey really hated you.
Well, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, man. Oof, what a trip, though. That was fun. Chris
So
was like, no more gummies on date night. I'm like, no more gummies during the week. None.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that being out in public. I honestly couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, what I don't like about gummies is the same thing I don't like about taking mushrooms or taking any pill that will, like, if you're going to do Molly or something like that, right? Number one, you can't control it.
Yeah.
If you're smoking weed,
right?
if you're smoking weed, you can take a hit and you can go, like, assess the situation, go, oh, a little too high. I'm going to ride this one out a little bit. If you ingest it, you give Jesus the keys and Jesus takes the wheel and Jesus goes wherever the fuck he wants to go with it. That's what I don't like.
Usually back to Mexico.
Yes.
But right now.
Jesus won't come down from the roof because ice showed up. Yeah, it's a little too hands off for me, you know. Yeah. As a person that likes to be moderately in control until he's totally fine without being in control and he gets out of control, allegedly. It's better to do drugs when you're in control.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if that's sound logic or not.
Yeah,
but it makes sense. So the other day, I'm going to walk you into a topic.
Yes.
We have plants. I used to go to get my haircut at this place, and I was like, you know what I like about this place? They have a lot of plants. I've never been a plant person. I don't know if you have plants in your house or not, but I think plants kind of bring a thing to the environment. You know, you got the flower over here, you got a thing. Yeah. So I looked up what kind of plant we have, and it was called a wandering Jew. Because this plant, I don't know if you know it, will actually find its way to your wallet, and it controls the weather.
I was going to ask if you just shook a little fucking can and wanted some change all the time. So had a big nose. Or fucking.
Well, and you know, white people, which you can't consider Jews to be like white people, because I think Jews, even though it's a religion, they're kind of their own race. Is that agreeable or not agreeable?
No, I don't agree with that. But you go on.
So here we are in the patriarchy, and there's a lot of shit that white people have named things that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like there's something called a Jew bug.
Consistently fucking haggle you on prices.
It always says it's cold in your house. Oh, it's cold. Can you turn the heat up?
Shut your Jew mouth.
So I started I just went to ChatGPT and was like, all right, give me like racist names of bugs and shit. Obviously, we got the African bees.
What's racist about that?
Well, because they're the killer bees. Oddly enough, African bees, the dad stays at home.
No dad bee.
It's just a queen bee, and she's
Yeah,
like,
it's just
"My
Father's
baby
Day's-
wouldn't do that."
Father's Day's just lonely.
There's offensive.
Nobody to play catch with. Just went to the store to get cigarettes and milk and never came back.
A lot of their kids go to the NBA.
They play in the MLB. God damn. Why is this fruit so low hanging?
But then there's like,
This is the worst podcast ever. Why are we doing this?
there's like something called a Hottentot fig. Like Hottentot is a racist slur used by colonizers for the colloquially people of Southern Africa. Like there's just like almost every plant name is fucking racist. The Wandering Jew, based on an anti-Semitic legend that a Jewish man was cursed to wander the earth forever, mocking Jesus. Huh?
Fucking plant. It just kind of grows around your house, and it's all you. Every once in a while, you hear a whisper, "Fuck you, Jesus." That's all you hear.
Like, what? You're watering it, and the plant's like, we killed him, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, Wandering Jew. Give it a rest. Australia just goes for it. There's a plant, Xanthorrhoea species in Australia. They just call it the black boy plant.
Stand by the end of your driveway with a
The
lantern.
black boy. He's a black boy.
Just plant that up by the road.
There's something called a Negro head cactus. Like,
There's no prickers on it. It's just bald. Smooth at the top.
it's got a tight fade. It looks like Play or Kid or whoever. One of those.
Yeah, it doesn't have the long spikes. They're all real short.
When it rains, the bristles don't move.
Yeah.
There's something called Indian paintbrush / Indian pipe / Indian blanket. The issue is it's not inherently derogatory, but part of the broader pattern of ethnomic naming that flattens or misrepresents Native American culture. Yeah, you keep going down this list. It's fucking crazy. Kaffir lime. Kaffir is an extremely offensive racial slur in South Africa, comparable to the N-word. I am willing to bet you that there are some African Americans in this country that are named Kaffir, Kaffir, give or take parentheses or what's that? Like a
tilde? No,
a thing.
Yeah.
A thing.
Yeah.
Cadondrius cornflake, but yeah, it struck me as being very weird that everything is so goddamn racist. And here it is, Juneteenth.
Oh, it'd be the laugh.
And I actually overwatered my black boy cactus because I'm not racist, dude.
You should know that. They can't swim.
Like, who the fuck is like, hey, here's a new species. Let's call it the
somebody just
N-word
angry.
goat
Fuck that thing.
He found out his wife cheated. Here's a new kind of invasive grass. N-word Brian. It's that guy that fucked my wife. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
That was my little spiel. The fact that you can go to Lowe's and buy a wandering Jew.
we should next time you're up. We should go and ask
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. Hey,
For
where are
racist
wandering
plants.
Jews at?
Yeah. That's some little old lady pushing the carts like, my fucking husband's inside somewhere. Wandering.
Oh, he always gets lost. He's probably stealing washers.
He's in there haggling over prices, you know.
I'd really appreciate it if you can get Mr. Lowe's on the phone.
Yeah.
And we love the Jews. The Jews give us a lot of things.
Yeah. Jewish rye toast.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Weird, man. Shit's so good, but I don't want it. I feel racist putting it in a toaster.
Yeah, you can't overburn it.
No.
Terrible workers.
Yeah. I don't like to do anything.
A lot of Jewish rye loaves of bread, though, can fit on a train. Okay. Oh, hold on. I have a text. Never mind. I cannot read that.
I heard enough.
Oh, dude. I was at Buckwater Tuesday. And you know how people with midgetism,
There that word is again.
they have that face and it's kind of like a really scrunched face,
Yeah.
but they have like larger features. They have like a larger nose, larger ears.
They have normal size ears and stuff
Yeah,
like
but
that,
everything's kind of
small little head.
scrunched,
Yeah.
I saw a dude. Now he had short, like fetal alcohol syndrome arms, but his face looked like he had midgetism, but he was like 6'2".
It's Down syndrome.
Like, you know how like aspect ratio wise, and I think there's a thing, when you think you see a face in a mirror, or sometimes if you're looking at certain wood grains, you can pick out a face. That's called matrixing.
Really?
Yeah, your brain will pick up patterns that try to detect things it's more familiar with.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, dude, I'm looking at this guy and I can't look away because I've never seen anybody like this. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't shake his hand because I got big hands. I didn't want to do it to him. But yeah, hey, nice to meet you. I don't know if you can hear this.
Midgetism.
Now, how many times have I said, when I'm doing a podcast, don't play your video games up above me?
I can't
Every
hear that.
time?
The one
Okay.
time every time you freak out, I've heard them once.
That's
I
when
heard
things were
footsteps.
coming through the wrong mic. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the only time I ever heard what's going on up there.
Is my kid is into his MetaQuest thing, like the headset thing.
VR?
Yeah, VR stuff.
Yeah.
And when he's on it, it's full blare in his ears. So he's screaming at other kids, and also he's screaming out loud.
Yes.
It's maddening. I gotta ask you this question too, because you have dogs, right? You have a dog now.
A dog now.
Rest in peace, Tucker. Not really. Didn't like you. Rest in peace, Stakey's though.
Yeah.
And what was the other one that I liked with the snaggle teeth?
Ickypotamus.
Icky, yeah. That was good.
Ickypotamus.
So we have shitty neighborhood dogs, but there's one neighborhood dog that comes and he's just aloof. I think he's the only dog I've ever seen with Down syndrome. Like his eyes are super close together. Huge tongue, huge dick.
Definitely Down syndrome.
Yeah. So, but I went out to go start, like we cut some shit down. I was going to go, it was like kind of raining ish. And I was going to go start like this little brush on fire to get rid of it. And he's just looking at me. And then I go to the garage, I get a blowtorch, and I found myself trying to show off for the dog. Cause like people can't do this. Like I'm like, you have no idea how awesome it is to be a person. Cause I have a blowtorch. Like you could never invent this. And he's sitting there and then he starts licking his butthole. And I'm like, all right, you win.
Lucky.
He's like, oh, you have a blowtorch? Look at this.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn, dude. All right.
Can dogs get Down syndrome? Or have? You can't really get it. I mean, I don't know.
I'll send you a picture of this dog.
That's okay. I want to say it just for the goof, but dogs cannot have Down syndrome.
Oh,
Down syndrome is a genetic
Is it
disorder in
sit-downs?
humans. Just sit downs. Sit downs and lay downs. It's the only downs I get.
Thirsty Thursdays rule.
We should start doing this every Thursday. In humans caused by an extra copy of chromosome 21. Dogs have a different number of chromosomes, 39, and do not have chromosome 21. So theirs goes 1 through 20, 22, 23, 20. They just skip 21.
Fuck.
It is impossible for dogs to develop Down syndrome.
They're like a hotel with no 13th floor. Got
Yeah.
it. Sweet.
There are other genetic conditions can cause similar symptoms in dogs, such as pituitary dwarfism, congenital hypothyroidism.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Uh,
I got that.
so no.
Well, hey, let's end this.
Hey, oh yeah,
We're under an hour.
yeah. Let's get out here in like 2 minutes. But today I was
God, you know you're gonna start a tangent.
no. This is gonna go on for a minute.
Okay.
I was watching
Not your wife,
gambling
you don't
videos
lie to me.
on YouTube, and me and Brady were sitting there, and I went over to my subscriptions, and I was going down, and obviously subscribe to this show.
Mm.
And I clicked on it, and it's all our episodes and shit. And I went back and I was watching one. I'm like, hey Brady, look, Dad and Uncle Chris, we're on YouTube. You see his head come up. He's watching this. He goes, put the panda hat one on. I'm like, we don't want to watch those. So I put on one and I immediately start laughing at something. And he starts laughing. And he's like, how many more are there? I go, hundreds. We went through
206.
Yeah, we were watching them in the last time we were at Vinny's when Hurley was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, where are you guys? I'm like, it says live at Vinny's in the corner. They let you do that there? I'm like, yeah, they shouldn't, but we do.
We got to set one up for Queen of Heaven.
That's why I was trying to discuss with you what your timeline is. There's a lot to pack in a few days. You're going to be here.
What day is Jorts? Saturday?
Saturday evening.
Okay. I'm going to try to fly in Friday afternoon.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to St. Louis, grab a quick hotel, and try to get like a 5:30 flight to Buffalo. You know, Buffalo is not named after the animal.
I know.
B-E-A-U, is beautiful. Flow is river. The French named it Beautiful River.
Phil, you're in the fucking group chat that we literally were just texting in. Kyle's being a little bitch about it. I'll have a backup plan. I'll have my fucking dad drive my truck with a fucking hay wagon. See if you can find an extra hay wagon, Phil, that I can hook to a goddamn pickup truck.
Why is Kyle
We'll
being
be
such a bitch?
fine. Kyle, if it's sun's out, we're gonna fucking do hay. The sun was out last year, and what did you do?
Great day for hay.
Yeah, it was no problem. Don't fucking worry about it. He's being a little baby about it. Yeah, gotta do hay. Get it done, dude.
It was weird that he's wearing a Trump suit, Trump mask, and we find out right before we're supposed to go that Trump got shot.
We were in line.
Yeah.
We just got settled in the line and we were waiting when everybody come by and was like, Trump got shot. And then we were trying to find like a red marker to put on his ear.
Trump went all like end of fucking Breakfast Club.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck you guys. Fire another one.
It's just in the air. I got two of them. Big ears, great ears. All right, we'll get out of here. We're gonna come back with
We got a topic. This one was, I don't know what we were doing here.
best movie cameos.
Cameos, not, hey, the guy's in a quarter of the movie.
I will leave you with this.
Cameo.
And we can pick up where we left off here. For a cameo to be a cameo, for example, the one that you brought to the table the other day, to me, the person needs to be the person in the movie.
Be themselves.
Yes. That to me what a cameo is. However, I totally understand where we're going with this. So, Cameo's coming back in a couple minutes. I got to go yell at my kid
Attaboy.
in a very gentle way.
Don't you have a wife for that?
You would think that she'd help support my hobbies, because when she wants to go run a marathon in California, guess who goes? Guess who pays for all the meals? Guess who gets up at 4 a.m. to drive him to the spot? I do. I do a podcast. Just need a little bit quiet right above me. Zero fucks.
No.
Because women, this is why women live longer than men. Because men are the sandcastle, women are the waves. And they slowly beat you to death. And all your hopes and dreams wither away a few grains of sand at a time. That's just what they do. It's a war of attrition, and they win every time because they have the wild card. They can just say, here's a vagina. And then you're happy for a couple of days. And then they start again. Oh man, I love this sandcastle. This is a sandcastle that I'm gonna try to marry. I'm gonna
I'll spend my rest of my life with that sandcastle.
Yeah, because it's a great sandcastle. And then the second they hitch up with the sandcastle, they go,
how can I change this?
Yeah, we probably need to add a new roof. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I just thought you liked my sandcastle. And they're like, yeah, I did, but. And then more waves come in.
Mm-hmm.
Then high tide comes in after you have kids, where it just takes off half your sandcastle. And you're just fighting. And this is why men die early. Yep. Also, men jump off bridges and shit. Fuck if I know. All right, we'll be right back.